Welcome children. Take out your Radiant Reader book, Chapter 18, The Young Witness Part 2. Today I am going to explain the Part 2 of this chapter. Now let me start. Prosecution Counsel. Your Honor, I would like to begin by explaining to my witness what an oath means. Prosecution Counsel says to the judge that he wants to start by explaining his witness, that is Emily, the meaning of an oath. Justice Blue. Yes, you may do that if you like, provided you do not make the little girl nervous. Justice Bloom permits the advocate that he could begin without making the child nervous. Prosecution Counsel. Tell me, Emily, have you ever taken an oath? Prosecution Counsel. Mr. J. Smith asks Emily if she had any time taken an oath. Emily Joseph, slightly disturbed. I have never ever sworn in my life. Emily Joseph, feeling slightly nervous, says that never in her life she had taken any oath. Defense Counsel, pardon me, Your Honor, the witness does not know what an oath is. How can the court rely on her evidence? Defense Counsel interrupts saying, Sir, the child doesn't know the meaning of an oath. Then how is it possible for a court to trust on her proofs? Prosecution Counsel, my learned friend is rather hasty in his judgment. Your Honor, I would like to put the question in another way. Tell me, Emily, have you ever been a witness in a court? Prosecution Counsel interrupts saying that his learned friend, Mr. Boswell, is too quick in his decision. Then he says that judge that he wanted to put the question in a different way. Then he asks Emily if she had ever been a witness in the court. Emily Joseph, no sir. Emily Joseph says, no sir. Prosecution Counsel, showing the Bible to Emily. Have you seen this book? Prosecution Counsel brings a Bible and shows it to Emily. Then asks her if she had seen that book. Emily Joseph, yes sir. This is the Holy Bible. Emily Joseph accepts, saying it is the Holy Bible. Prosecution Counsel, well, have you ever read it? Prosecution Counsel says good and asks if at any time she had read it. Emily Joseph, yes sir, I have read it every day. Emily Joseph accepts, saying she reads it every day. Prosecution Counsel, do you know what the Bible is? Prosecution Counsel asks Emily if she knew the meaning of Bible. Emily Joseph, yes sir, my mother says it is the word of God. Emily Joseph accepts, saying her mother says that Bible's words are the words of God. Prosecution Counsel, good. Now my dear child, place your hand upon this book. Emily puts her hand on the book. Then she trembles a little. Prosecution Counsel encourages Emily, saying, good. Then he tells Emily to put her hand on the book. But she shakes a little. Prosecution Counsel, don't worry. Just repeat after me. I do solemnly swear. And she repeats the oath following Advocate Smith word for word but showing nervousness as he repeated. Prosecution Counsel forbids her to worry and tells her to repeat the word after him. And Emily starts repeating the oath following Advocate Smith, but while repeating, she looked nervous. Prosecution Counsel, now Emily, you have taken the oath. Do you know what will happen to you if you do not speak the truth? Prosecution Counsel tells Emily that she had taken the oath. Then he asks her if she knew what would happen if she gives false statement. Emily Joseph, yes sir. Emily Joseph says that she knew it. Prosecution Counsel, tell me what will happen. Prosecution Counsel asks Emily to tell him what would happen. Emily Joseph, the judge will send me to jail and take away my mother from me. Emily Joseph says that the judge will send her to jail and take away her mother. Prosecution counsel, what else? Prosecution counsel asks, what others? Emily Joseph, God will punish me. He will not send me to heaven. Emily Joseph says that God would punish her and would not send her to heaven. Prosecution counsel, how do you know that? Prosecution counsel asks how she knew it. Emily Joseph, I will show you where that is said by God. Emily takes the Bible, opens a certain page and reads, Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. I learned that before I was able to read the Bible. Emily Joseph says that she would show him the God saying. She opens the Bible and reads, one would not give false statement against other. She had learnt it before she was able to read the Bible. Justice Bloom, very good child. But tell me, did you know that you were to be a witness in this case? Justice Bloom praises the child, saying, very good. Then asks if she knew that she was going to be a witness in that case. Emily Joseph, yes sir, when my mother knew that I was to be a witness in this case, she called me to her bedroom and together we prayed. Kneeling down, we repeated 10 commands. She then said to me, remember Emily, you have to speak the truth. It will be very wicked of you to give false evidence. Emily Joseph accepted, saying when her mother came to know that she was going to be the witness, she called her. Then together they kneeled and prayed, quoting the words of Bible. Then she told Emily to speak the truth, else she would be wicked of giving false statement. Justice Bloom. And then Justice Bloom asked after that, Emily Joseph, when I left home, she kissed me and said, remember, God will hear every word of what you will say in the court. Emily Joseph said, then when she left home, her mother kissed her, saying, not to forget that God will hear her each saying in the court. Justice Bloom, do you believe that? Justice Bloom asked if she believed that. Emily Joseph, yes sir, every word of it. Emily Joseph accepted, saying she believes each word of Bible. Defense counsel, excuse my interruption, Your Honor, but do you think you can trust on a little child like this in such an important case, my lord? Defense counsel interrupted, asking the justice if he could trust a mere child in such an important case. Justice Bloom, trust? Did you say? I want my learned friend to know that even if my life depended on the evidence of the child, I would trust her. However, we will not waste the time of the court on this issue. Advocate Smith, please let the child go to the witness box because her evidence shall be admitted. Justice Bloom tells the defense counsel, what are you telling about trust? I want you to know that if my own life depends on her proof, then also I will trust her. Then he asked Advocate Smith to let the child go to the witness box as her evidence was very important. Clerk, witness Emily. Clerk called Emily to the witness box. And with this, I am ending my today's class. Goodbye.